Good evening, Crime Crunchies. Thank you so much for joining me. I am your host, Courtney C., and I am a 27-year veteran of the media. And again, thank you so much for joining me. I am diving in tonight, part two, continuation of last night. I had horrible internet. I apologize to everybody. I cannot believe how many people stuck in there with me with my freezing and my weird faces. But I am going to review my theory on how I firmly believe at this point that the family knows exactly who took Nancy Guthrie, and I believe they knew from day one. Okay, so where am I coming from? I am in Phoenix for work, and I came in a day or two early. I rented a car and I drove down to Tucson. And I wanted to visit Nancy Guthrie's home, see the memorial, because it's been 3 months since she's been missing. And I wanted to visit and pay my respects. But I thought this would be a really great time for me to kind of take in just the scene and see what I could gather. And I'm so glad that I did, because it is nothing like I imagined. I had theories going back very, very early that I thought that this could have been a random selection from a kidnap for ransom, potentially based on her home, the location of her home, the fact that she was an older woman who lived alone, didn't have a dog, there was no man there, and that the house was and is probably $1 million home, and perhaps the location. But going and visiting Nancy's home, that is completely wrong. There is no way that her home or Nancy was selected randomly, okay? I am 150,000% convinced that they knew exactly who lived there and that this was Savannah Guthrie's mother. And I am 2,000% convinced that this is a retaliation or a revenge tactic for Savannah. And I'm going to walk through all of that tonight, and I'm going to show how I am getting to this. And I also want to mention that I actually have some insider info. I have a friend who works with Cameron Guthrie, and I have bits and pieces of what Cameron has said to this person, and it backs up pretty much everything that Savannah said in her interview to Hoda without really saying it. Now, when I go back and I think about the interview that Hoda, conducted with Savannah, I thought, wow, these are just kind of softball questions. But when I think about what I believe now has happened, and I go back and I look at her Instagram videos and the interview that Savannah did with Hoda, things are really clicking. Clicking. So the bottom line is, and again, this is my opinion, this is speculation, but I firmly 100% believe that this person who took Nancy Guthrie on January 31st and February 1st, I believe that this person had been trying to shake down Savannah for money for a long time. I believe that this had been going on for a while in the background. And when we think about the notes that TMZ has gotten and how the person seems to be, there's proper grammar, there's proper punctuation, the spelling, I believe firmly that this person probably feels like they are on the level with Savannah, and that the fact that she didn't give him the attention or pay him or do whatever it is that he wanted, added to him wanting to retaliate against her to get her attention, okay, plus the money. I believe that this is a shakedown that had been going on for a very long time. And I think that in this theory that Savannah had been ignoring it She didn't do what she was supposed to do, whatever this person wanted her to do. And I don't know if the nexus of this was this person seeing her on that Today Show segment with her mom and her sister, realizing that she had deep ties and roots in Tucson. I don't know if they happen to live in Tucson or if they're in LA or what, but they realized that this is something that they could do and actually get away with, or at least accomplish to get her attention. But I feel like that Today Show segment did have a lot as far as being a catalyst for this because of just the timing. And I believe that this person hatched this plot even as far back as that Today Show segment. I believe that that's when they got this idea. So when Savannah talks about after the day of that her mother goes missing and she comes into Phoenix and she sees her brother, she says, "Is this because of me?" And he says, "Yes, I think it is." I can tell you right now that again, my insider info is that the family, their position is that this is a direct result of Savannah. Okay. This is absolutely Savannah. This is something to do with her. And Nancy was taken either as revenge or retaliation against Savannah. Now, I believe that there was an ask for money, not just because of the ransom notes, but if you recall the text that was received the day of or the day after Nancy went missing, of the person texting the sister and the brother-in-law, "Do you have the Bitcoin? Either there or we're waiting for the Bitcoin." I believe that the person had been trying to get Bitcoin in this wallet so that it couldn't be traced. And I don't think that this is a romantic thing with Savannah. I don't know if they just thought that this was something that they could do and that they could get money out of her. But I'm not so sure about that. I'm not feeling that this has romantic or a sexual undertone to it, but I definitely think that the person who was trying to get money all those months, that Savannah had been ignoring them, and it's very possible that they found a bandmate of the brother-in-law and that they had been starting to shake down the friend and pressuring the friend, "You need to help get this money. You need to help get this money." And that maybe the friend texted, Annie and the brother-in-law just as part of this pressure that's going on. And I think that the family all knew that something was happening. So when Annie gets the call that mom didn't go to the friend's house to watch the church live stream, and she goes to the house to look for Nancy, to look for mom, and she sees mom isn't there, she's probably got these bells going off in her head going, okay, is this connected? I think the family was well aware that something had been brewing in the background with Savannah, or maybe Savannah didn't share it with them. I'm not sure. But I do believe that somebody had been trying to do a shakedown either of Savannah or the family. And in the last few months when the money wasn't coming, they were very patient and they planned this kidnapping very carefully. Because again, when I went to that house yesterday morning, that house it's not on like a corner. It's not easily accessible. It's actually much closer to the street. The driveway is only about 25 feet off of the street. It looks larger on TV, but there's no way that this house is just random. They knew exactly who lived in that house. And they specifically went on January 11th because they were going to have to scope out the house. They were going to have to scope out the yard. They were going to have to scope out how they were going to get in. And whoever did this was very meticulous and very patient. And like I'm saying, they were patient until they weren't patient. And I feel like they needed to do something to finally get Savannah's attention. And how do I feel that they wanted Savannah's attention? because of the way that they sent the ransom notes, that we know that at least 2 of the ransom notes are absolutely tied to the kidnapper. So somebody who's wanting attention is going to send a ransom note to the media. Someone who wants attention is going to send it to the Tucson TV station where Savannah first got her start in TV. Somebody who wants attention is going to send a note to TMZ, who is going to scream it from the rooftops, okay? And I believe that when Annie walked into that house, saw the back doors propped open and the blood on the front porch, I have a feeling that she was probably in disbelief, thinking, no way, they did not do this. And yes, I believe that this person, at least one person, took Nancy to punish, to hurt, to retaliate, to pay back Savannah for ignoring them and not doing whatever it was that she was supposed to have done. And most likely that was to give money, okay? And it's very possible that Savannah, going on in her life, she's very busy. She's, on the Today Show, she probably has an ego. She probably, sloughed stuff off. I read all of your comments, and there are a lot of people. There was one comment about that she has security, or she's got people who reads her emails. It's very possible that they see a lot of weird stuff, and that, maybe early on some emails didn't even make it in front of Savannah. It's very possible. I also read some people who asked, why wasn't the family looking for Nancy? And I thought that was kind of strange too, because if it was my mom, I would be out there hanging flyers. I'd be pounding the pavement. I would be looking. I wouldn't be waiting for the cops to tell me that I could or could not do something. And this is what I think. This is why I think that and I couldn't understand, why are they sequestered in a house? They ended up in a house in a gated community. And I'm like, what are they doing in this house? They were there for a month. They're just sitting in this house. What are they doing all day? Are they helping with information? What are they doing? And it crossed my mind that they could have been actually fearful of their own safety. And as part of one of the interviews, I think it was either the second or the third portion of the Hoda interview with Savannah, she talks about how, the media was getting closer to the house because they were at first at Annie's for like the first week. They were at Annie's house and the media was outside. There was really no one keeping the media away. And she said that at one point they had to go in the middle of the night under cloak of darkness and get in a car and be whisked away to a house. And I saw some comments and I kind of thought the same thing. Oh, I'm so sorry that you had to be whisked away to, $1 million property in a gated community. But you know what? How do we know that this person, because we don't know what was in those notes. We don't know what was in those notes. And there is every possibility that this person threatened more violence. And there's every possibility that they felt that their safety was on the hook as well. Hello, good evening. How are you? Good to see you tonight. Thank you so much for coming back. So let's think about this, okay? We don't know what's in these notes from the kidnapper. I feel like the kidnapper, this was a long game for the kidnapper. And I feel like they were very patient. They reached out to Savannah. They wanted money. I do think this was about money. I don't think Savannah gave him the attention that he wanted. And when time was up, and he was going to do whatever it was going to take to show her, yeah, you screwed up. You should have you should have paid attention to me when I first asked you to, and this would not have happened. Okay. And so part of the regret that Savannah feels in her interview really makes sense to me. And I have part one of the interview, and I want to watch it, but let me share my screen while I've got this going. But I also was thinking, share a window. Okay. So I was also thinking that, of course, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so let's just watch this. This is 15 minutes, but I want to watch this because looking at this under this new light, that this is somebody who she probably was aware of. This is somebody who she had the opportunity to have taken care of. She probably thought he was going to go away. She didn't give him either the attention, the money, whatever it was that he wanted. And now because of what she did, her mother is gone. Her mother is gone, and this is the worst nightmare you could ever have. And her brother immediately knew that this is what had happened. He immediately knew. And why did he immediately know? Why would you immediately go directly to, my mother was kidnapped for money because of Savannah? You know, there has to be something that they knew. And I also want to mention, let me share this tab. I wish it didn't do this. Something I also want to point out is, let's see, where is this? YouTube. So something else I want to point out is, you know, this is Porch Guy. Everyone is assuming that this is a Hispanic male. Okay. And we don't know if there's more than one. We don't, you know, it looks like there's a walkie-talkie in his pocket, but we don't know. This could, in this could be a Caucasian male. How do we know? It could be any ethnicity. Okay. This does not have to be a Hispanic where people were thinking that maybe it was cartel or, you know, it's a group or something. This could absolutely be a Caucasian male. And again, he could be a helper. Okay, he could be somebody that the kidnapper, the mastermind behind this hired. It could be a relative or a cousin. We don't know who this is, but I think that a lot of people have gone to the conclusion that this is a Hispanic male. But I disagree. I think that this could be anything. So, all right, let's go and watch the. Let's watch the, and I have to work on my faces because I make funny faces when I'm doing things. So, all right, let's watch this video and let's look at how she's answering looking at it from a different angle of they know exactly who this is. Again, they may not have a name of who this person is, but they know who this guy is. Okay, they're familiar with this guy. They probably never, ever in a million years thought that it would come to this, but it has. And Savannah has indirectly caused this horrible thing to happen.
It was, I guess, a normal weekend for you.
Yeah.
The weekend your mom went missing. Tell me what you were doing and what happened.
Well, I had given Mike for Christmas a boys' trip to go play tennis. And so he had been gone for the weekend. So I took my kids actually to Carson's. Mm-hmm. So we had a beautiful, fun night together. And then I came home and really just got home at the same time that Mike came home. We were just saying hi, putting down our stuff, and the kids were running around. And my sister called me and I said, "Is everything okay?" Mm-hmm. And she said, "No." She said, "Mom's missing." And I said, "What?" Yeah. what are you talking about? She said, she's gone. And she was in a panic. I was in a panic. I'm like, call 911.
Yeah.
She's like, I did. We called them. They're here. And we thought that she must have had like some kind of medical episode in the night, and that somehow, the paramedics had come because the back doors were propped open, and that didn't make any sense. We thought maybe they came and there was a stretcher and they took her out the back. But her phone was there and her purse was there and all her things. And it just didn't make any sense. So, Annie and Tommy had already called all the hospitals, but then I'm like, I'm going to call the hospital. So then I started calling the hospitals, and the police were there and talking to her at the same time. And it was just chaos and disbelief.
Within hours, Savannah was making the long journey home to Tucson.
You saw Annie and Cam when you got to their house. Tell me about that moment.
Just disbelief and hugging each other. And I think we were on the phone with the sheriff and trying to, really make clear from the very early moments, Annie and Tommy were saying, this isn't that case that you are used to where someone wanders off. She can't wander off. My mom, she was in tremendous pain. Her back was very bad. She was trying to, on a good day.
Well, I'm going to interrupt. So the sheriff's department initially thought that she was a walk-off. And so this is Savannah kind of diverting from what's really going on, talking about them convincing the sheriff's department that she could not have walked off because of her physical ailment. But again, she's not talking about the elephant in the room.
She could walk down to the mailbox and get the mail, but most days not. So there was no wander off. And the doors were propped open.
Yeah.
And there was blood on the front doorstep. And the Ring camera had been yanked off.
Yeah.
And so we were saying, this is
do something.
This is not okay.
Yeah.
This isn't, something is very wrong here.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about what possibly could have happened? Like what could have happened? What went down? Did you?
I think my brother, my siblings are so amazing. My brother, he spent his career in the military and worked in intelligence and is a fighter pilot and is brilliant. And he saw very clearly right away what this was.
So she starts a sentence out when she starts a sentence out, my siblings are amazing. What does that say? When she says, my siblings are amazing, this is Savannah's way of saying, I royally screwed up. My mother is gone, and my siblings don't hate me. My siblings are sticking by me. And she's praising her siblings because her siblings aren't blaming her for what happened. But she knows exactly, and Cameron knows exactly, that this has directly to do with Savannah. And this is revenge, retaliation against Savannah. And again, I know from the horse's mouth, that this is all to do with Savannah. This is nothing to do with anything else, but it's tied directly to Savannah. So when we watch these profilers talking about the kidnapper and why they could have done what they've done, I'm telling you 2000%, when this thing gets solved, I know I'm right. I know I'm right. And I feel it, and I know it.
And even on the phone, When I called him, he knew.
He knew.
And he said, I think she's been kidnapped for ransom. And I said,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Well, why? What? And then, I mean, it sounds so
Kidnapped for ransom.
like, how dumb could I be? But I didn't want to believe. I just said, do you think because of me?
Yep. And this is the worst nightmare coming true.
And he said,
He's caused this.
I'm sorry, sweetie, but yeah, maybe. But I knew that.
You
He knew
did.
it. He
I
knew it.
hope not.
But she knew it
I
before
mean, we
he
still
even said
don't
it.
know.
Mhm.
Honestly, we don't know anything.
No.
We don't know anything. So I don't know that it's because she's my mom and somebody thought, oh, that girl, that lady has money. We can make a quick buck. I mean, that would make sense, but we don't know. But yeah, that's
She's
probably
downplaying it. She's telling us
which
that
is
she's telling us exactly what it is, but she's downplaying it. And she just told us what it is. And she's downplaying it. And she's downplaying it because she can't handle the knowledge. Because, I mean, and I'm not blaming her, okay? There's no judgment here. I feel horrible for her, okay? They loved and worshiped their mother. This is horrible. And it's not Savannah's fault. But she cannot go there emotionally. She cannot emotionally go there and put that entire cloak of guilt on her shoulder. She cannot bear, if she really let herself feel those feelings, she probably would have a nervous breakdown. And she cannot go there emotionally. And so she is downplaying her indirect role in this because she just cannot go there.
too much to bear.
It is too much to bear.
To think that I
She
brought
can't
this
handle it.
to her bedside. That it's because of me. And I just say, I'm so sorry, Mommy. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to my sister and my brother and my kids and my nephew and Tommy and my brother-in-law. I'm like, so sorry. I'm so sorry. If it is me, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom.
In the initial days, you and your sister and brother sat together. In all the despair, you sat and managed to think of words to say. How were you able to do that in that moment?
Well, my siblings are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And we are a unit. And I talked about how brilliant my brother is, but my sister is equally brilliant and also has special powers of intuition and faith and language and depth and heart. And I feel like we came together with all these beautiful gifts that came from our mom and dad and from God. And somehow together we did our best to come up with the words to say. And I haven't posted one thing or said one thing that the three of us.
And I'm going to look at her Instagram posts again, because again, listening to the words that she's using, she's speaking directly to this person. And I think she's using words that she should have used before this person just went way, off the chart and took her mom. Let me continue with this video.
Haven't decided together.
I'm just going to
It
play
is
this one
surreal.
part.
It's how is it possible that we are having to make a video speaking to a kidnapper who took an 84-year-old woman in the dead of night in her pajamas with no shoes,
I mean, horrible,
without her medicine.
horrible.
This little person. And to beg for mercy.
In the days that followed, multiple notes demanding payment were sent to various media outlets.
The ransom notes or ransom requests came. Did you believe those to be real?
There are a lot of different notes, I think, that
Yeah.
came. And I think most of them, it's my understanding, are not real. And I didn't see them. But,
Can't talk about the note.
a person that would send a fake ransom note really has to look deeply at themselves.
Yeah.
To a family in pain. But I believe the 2 notes that we received, that we responded to, I tend to believe those are real.
Really?
Yep. She knows there's stuff in there that
When the Ring camera video
she knows exactly who
surfaced,
this guy is.
And-
She's probably gotten emails from him. Chances are it's emails. This person is smart enough, intelligent enough that they used secure enough methods to not be found out. But again, I suspect strongly that even if they didn't have a name, I do believe that the FBI has a lead on this person. And I think that all this time they've been building the case. And, with the world watching, they have to be very, very, very careful about not arresting somebody who's going to just make bail and then, go or have something done improperly, and Nanos is just a joke. So I'm hoping that the feds are taking care of this at this point. But I just know there's so much listening to her talk and how she's avoiding certain things. There's just no doubt they know exactly who did this.
and you could see who that person was. Just tell me what you thought when you saw those images of the person who took your mother.
I mean, it's just absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
It's just totally terrifying. And I can't imagine that is who she saw standing over her bed.
Yeah.
I can't. It's too much.
Yeah.
And I'm glad and grateful to the investigators and the technology companies that were able to find that video. To, I hope, at least with people of good heart and compassion, stop the irresponsible and cruel speculation that had started to swirl.
Let's talk about that for a
About the
minute.
I'm glad that
brother-in-law.
people saw
Yeah.
what came to our door.
See, and if she knows who this is, I know that people still think that the family member, and I'm very careful about not saying his name because YouTube does weird stuff with my videos. So I don't say his name, but she knows. I don't think it's the brother-in-law. I really, really don't. I don't think he was involved. I think this is something external that the family maybe was aware of, that they were dealing with, but I think that they're all victims in a way. And just looking at her face right now, she's very upset because she knows that it's not the brother-in-law. She knows that it's not. And she's frustrated right now, the way she's got her mouth pursed and the way her eyes are staring and just the expression on her face. She wants to say why it's not him, but she can't. She cannot say why she knows it's not the brother-in-law. And she's frustrated because there's so much more that she would want to say, but she cannot say it because they can't let anybody know that anyone's onto this guy. She can't come out and say, yeah, we know who this is. We know who this is. Just like I mentioned yesterday in my horrible show with the bad internet, the media has done an awesome job of following along with the narrative that there's no suspect, there's no person of interest, that the feds don't have anything. And that's what they've been leaking to, like Brian Entons and to, Anjanette Levy and Jennifer Coffindaffer and Ashley Banfield and all this. But I think that that's a red herring. They want us to think that there isn't anyone because, they have to keep it quiet. And all of us are doing a great job of being frustrated that they don't have a perp. And we're all frustrated that they don't know, they've not gotten any further with this thing. But I firmly believe that they are probably building a case. They probably are waiting for DNA to come back. There may not be cell records. The guy on the porch may not even be the person, the mastermind behind this whole thing. He could be just a hired lackey. He looked like a dingbat, okay? The person on the front porch does not match the diabolical intelligence that was behind those ransom notes. And again, we don't know what was in those ransom notes. She knows what's in those ransom notes, okay? And TMZ knows what was in those ransom notes. And TMZ was very firm and that this was real and that they've gotten many messages from what they think is, the kidnapper. But again, he wanted attention. And when we look at Savannah's messages on Instagram, she's talking about, I hear you. We understand. We will pay. And it's almost like, lady, too late. And I'm sorry I took it. And honestly, this person probably did not know that Nancy was not going to survive the episode. Okay. I don't think that Porch Guy is the mastermind. I think Porch Guy royally screwed up when the confrontation happened at the front door. And I absolutely do not think that was planned. I think they were just going to take her. This was a scare tactic, a retaliation, fear. I'm going to get you, Savannah. You need to pay attention to me, Savannah. Savannah, pay attention to me. You will pay attention to me because guess what? I have your mommy now. Okay. I don't think that there was anything in the plan about Nancy dying and the whole thing just crapped out. Okay. The whole thing is just bad. All right, let's continue. We've got just a few more minutes of this and then we'll look at her Instagram messages, looking at it in a different light based on this theory.
When you talk about the cruel speculation, the whispers, the innuendo that it was somebody in your family, how did you weather that?
It's unbearable.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I hate watching shows and then people keep stopping the video, but I have to say, Keith, and I love your comments, you guys. If I was the brother-in-law and people were running their mouth about me and I was innocent, I'd let them know. Absolutely. I don't think that they can. And I'll tell you why, because this goes so deep. They can't open Pandora's box. The whole family knows what this is. And there's a certain amount of guilt and blame that Savannah, if this came out to light, and it could come to light eventually, but there's so much misdirection that they're probably protecting Savannah. They can't tell what really happened here, because I think they're protecting Savannah. And the fact that she's putting one foot in front of the other, to me, is amazing. Because think about, if you didn't do something, you didn't take something seriously, and you had no idea in a million years that you were going to pay for not doing whatever it was this person wanted you, and they were going to take your mother. Okay. And the realization of this is too much. I mean, it's too much for anybody to bear. So I don't think that Tommaso, I don't think he can come out, and he can't come out. Nobody can say what's really going on, because I think it opens Pandora's box, and it just doesn't help the situation.
Piles pain upon pain. There are no words. There are no words. I don't understand. I'll never understand. And no one took better care of my mom than my sister and brother-in-law. And no one protected my mom more than my brother.
And she's defending her family because they are standing
We
by
love her, and she is our shining light. She's our matriarch. She's all we have.
Savannah and her family stayed together in Arizona for weeks as the media coverage grew more intense.
We had to move houses many times because people came, and not everyone is respectful, unfortunately. You know, and there was a night we had to.
Well, and she's talking about people aren't respectful, unfortunately, but think about it. If you have an indication that this person has gone as far as to take your mother, they know where Annie lives, they're not safe. The siblings are not safe. In my opinion, they're not safe. I don't know that I would be out pounding the street either. I feel like they were in hiding. And again, the whole time I'm thinking, what in the hell are these people doing? Just sitting in a house. What are they doing for 24 hours a day? Are they just sitting around? I mean, but there's so much more to this story. I think that there was, I think that the media was there, but you know how when there's an unsolved homicide, they usually will put plainclothes people at the funeral, and they'll watch, because a lot of times the perpetrator shows up to the funeral. So they have no idea if all these people that are literally on the street outside the house could be the perpetrator. There is an unhinged person who has, I mean, just done a diabolical deed. They're not safe. And when she talks about them leaving in the middle of the night, I don't think that they're necessarily afraid of the media. And at first I'm thinking, oh, wow, well, that's awful. I'm sorry that you had to be whisked away, like, you know, you're escaping, you're fleeing to another $1 million property. But no, I think that theirs was a real threat of, I mean, somebody could just bust in the house. I'd be terrified. Knowing what I think happened, I would be absolutely terrified.
Leave in the dark, in the desert. Holding hands, me and my sister and brother and I get into a car waiting for us because the people outside were closing in. So
it's not, she's not talking about the media. See, we think she's talking about the media. She's not talking about the media. And yeah, this is all speculation. Everything I'm saying is my opinion. This is all speculation. I could totally be wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. When I hear her talking, she's making it sound like she's talking about this, but she's not. She's talking about, she says, she makes it look like she's talking about A. She's not. She's talking about B. She's not talking about the media. She's talking about this psycho who took her mother is out there. And she's terrified of this guy.
We found a place that was safe,
Mhm.
and then we couldn't really leave too much. So like those days are a blur.
Yeah.
Crying, praying.
How did your family feel about the way the investigation was conducted?
Well, it's still going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people have worked tirelessly. And we see that.
And she can't talk about it. And everybody's thinking, again, this is diversion. Everyone's thinking, oh, she's not saying that Chris Nanos is a piece of poo-poo doo-doo, okay? She's not saying what everybody is thinking, that Chris Nanos is a piece of poo-poo doo-doo. She's not saying that, but she can't talk about the investigation because there's so much to the investigation that she knows that they're doing, and they're going down paths that she just can't talk about. Because again, we're on a total diversion. We're on a total diversion right now.
But we need answers. We cannot be at peace without knowing. And someone can do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
And it is never too late to do the right thing.
Yep.
And our hearts are focused on that.
Mhm.
So she says, do the right thing. And I'm going to switch over to her Instagram now. So let me flip this around. And I want to look at some of her, I want to look at some of her posts. And again, yeah, this is all, but again, I mean, this all started clicking when I went to Nancy's house yesterday. And, and I wanted to talk about the map and somebody, I shared this map last night and I had bad internet, but the map with Annie, that Annie provided the police. I was told that, let me get the window up here. There we go. I was told, well, I wasn't told personally, but Nancy Grace had this map. This is from Nancy Grace. It's from Crime Online, sourced from Nancy Grace's show. And Nancy Grace stated that this is a map that Annie Guthrie gave to the police. And Nancy Grace referred to this as a potential route that the perpetrator would have taken to leave the house. And that's where, just having gone to Nancy's house yesterday morning, I'm thinking to myself, okay, how does Annie know that this is the way that the perpetrator would have gone? But somebody mentioned in the comments, and thank you, I don't remember who, but I believe that somebody said that this is a map that Annie provided to the police showing places that her mother would have gone. Like, here's Bash's. This is a grocery store. Okay. So while Nancy Grace shared that this is a map that the perpetrator would have taken to leave the neighborhood, somebody in my comments mentioned, no, this is a map that Annie had shared with like the neighbors or something. And that this is, so I don't really want to lean on this map, but even without this map, I mean, this kind of just fed into my whole theory that that this was a long game and that this was a long, drawn out shakedown for money that culminated in the ransomer taking Nancy. Okay. This was a months long shakedown. This had been going on for a while. And it culminated in them taking Nancy. So yes, the map has no evidentiary value. I'm just following up and saying, I read your comments. Somebody said this has nothing to do with that. So I'm taking the map out of the whole thing. Okay. So I wanted to follow up with that. Let's go and look at again her Instagrams, and let's listen to, those words that to me say something different. All right, so let's listen to the first one here.
On behalf of our family, we want to thank all of you for the prayers for our beloved mom, Nancy. We feel them, and we continue to believe that she feels them too. Our mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She's funny, spunky, and clever.
Hold on.
Has grandchildren that adore her and crowd around her and cover her with kisses. She loves fun and adventure. She is a devoted friend. She is full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her and you'll see.
The light is missing from our lives. Nancy is our mother. We are her children. She is our beacon. She holds fast to joy in all of life's circumstances. She chooses joy day after day, despite having already passed through great trials of pain and grief. We are always going to be merely human.
Merely human.
Just normal human people
Like this can be
who need
fixed.
our mom.
We need our mom.
Mama,
They're humanizing.
Mama, if you're listening, we need you to come home. We miss you.
Our mom is our heart and our home. She's 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media.
This is her talking to him.
As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk.
Yep, but it's too late.
However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her. We want to hear from you, and we are ready to listen.
They're ready to listen.
Please reach out to us. Mommy, if you are hearing this, you are a strong woman. You are God's precious daughter, Nancy. We believe and know that even in this valley, He is with you. Everyone is looking for you, Mommy, everywhere. We will not rest. Your children will not rest until we are together again. We speak to you every moment, and we pray without ceasing, and we rejoice in advance for the day that we hold you in our arms again. We love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
We love you, Mom. Stay strong.
So when she says, we're ready to talk, I think that this is probably, again, going back to the letter I think it comes back to what this person had been asking for. This person, I believe, had been asking for her to just listen to him and just listen. And she hadn't been. And there could have been language in one of the ransom notes, like, if you had just listened to me, I wouldn't have taken Nancy, or something along those lines. Okay. This is definitely a retaliation. And I think he wants her to know exactly why he did what he did. And there's no doubt that he took Nancy because she didn't give him the attention and whatever it was he wanted. She didn't do it. And when she says, we're ready to talk, he's probably thinking, oh, now you're ready to talk. Where were you 3 months ago when I wanted to talk? Where were you 4 months ago when I was ready to talk? Now you're ready to talk. Well, it's too late now. Okay, so let's listen to Cameron's, because he did talk. He did post one.
This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family. Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward. But first, we have to know that you have our mom. We want to talk to you, and we are waiting for contact. This is Cameron Guthrie. I'm speaking for the Guthrie family.
And I believe that the kidnapper stopped communicating because, again, it went south, and everybody knows that, I don't think that Nancy survived more than a day or two. And that's, again, my opinion. Take it or leave it. This is all my opinion. And I love all opinions. I have no problem with people, saying whatever they want to, because hopefully we will have an answer. Okay. Hopefully we'll have an answer, but I have no problem with people stating whatever they want to state.
We received your message and we understand.
We understand.
We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
We will pay. But it's too late.
We received your message and we understand. We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her. This is the only way we will have peace.
And again, I do believe that day when Annie and the brother-in-law went to the house and they were looking for Nancy, I do believe, at first I questioned, really, like they all called the hospitals. Did they really think, because the police would know if a 911 call had come in the night, and chances are Nancy would have called Annie and the phone wasn't there, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But again, I think that it was probably disbelief. I think that you go into, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Denial. Okay. I think that there was a period of denial that what they thought with this money shakedown, I think that there were a few hours where there was denial that this was a direct correlation with the shakedown. But I think that the longer it went and they saw the blood, I think that their worst fears were realized, because my thought was, having taken care of my mother till 82, if my sister lived in a different state and we would, swap mom back and forth. But even if my sister lived in a different state, the first thing I would do if I go and mom's gone and the back door is open, I'm calling my sister, even if she's in a different state. And I'm saying, hey, when did you talk to mom? That's my first thought, is I'm not going to wait. I'm probably calling my sister before I even call 911, honestly, because I'm wanting to find out, do you know something I don't, before I call 911. And it did not make sense to me, but it does now. If the family was aware that there was some sort of, shakedown, or there was a threat going on around Savannah, I could see why with the blood and the back door being propped open and her belongings there, that they probably started going into a bit of denial. There's probably disbelief because it's bigger. I mean, what happened to them is bigger than we could ever imagine. Okay. It's bigger than somebody's heart could handle. And I'm not talking about the moms. I'm talking about, this is one of those things where you would have to literally just say, look, I can't do this. I need somebody to medicate me. I need to go in the other room. You need to put me out. This is that kind of pain. This is beyond pain. And so I think, honestly, genuinely, it took Annie some time to realize what happened. And then that's when they called Savannah and Cam. And that's when Cam knew immediately. And again, how did Cam know immediately that this was to do with Savannah and that this was kidnapped for ransom? You know why? Because the threat had already been there. The threat had already been there. Hi, Michelle. I love your pink hearts. Thank you so much. I am so happy that you subscribe. Please, everybody, subscribe. I am a new channel. I'm a little crazy. I have crime crunchies because I'm weird. Crime crunchies, it's crunch. It's nice. I'm weird. It's weird. So again, why would Cam immediately go to kidnap for ransom? They already knew the threat. And again, they may not know the name, but they were all fully aware that there was this issue going on with Savannah. And Savannah, being busy, she was just getting ready to go to the Olympics. She's hoity-toity. She's on the Today Show. She's got an ego. She's an actress. Probably didn't take any of this seriously. Thought this guy was crazy. He's going to go away. And he didn't. And I'm pretty sure that colleges that deal with psychology, psychiatric situations, forensics, I believe that they're going to be studying this case for decades to come because of how weird when this whole thing comes out. I think that people are going to, it's up there definitely with the Lindbergh baby. I mean, this is definitely up there with the Lindbergh baby, the fact that this has happened. And, I definitely don't think that the investigation helped with them opening up the crime scene, closing the crime scene. They screwed up big time. The DNA, I hope that they have DNA, but again, who knows if this kid is even, who knows? Hopefully they can get it with genetic genealogy, but the whole thing is just really, really sad. And again, I just want to go back and say, I am not judging Savannah. This is, even if she somehow indirectly caused this, there's something wrong with a person who would go that far to get attention. There's something not right with this person. There's something unhinged with them. And again, I'm pretty sure that the guy on the porch is not who masterminded this. I think, I see Dr. Evil from Austin Powers. It's this guy sitting in his evil lair, and the porch guy is just a henchman. He was probably just going to pay him, and he is just a doofus. Porch guy is not the mastermind. There's no way. This guy is smart enough to, cover his tracks. He's smart enough to have pulled this off. He wasn't, it's not going to be his DNA that's left at the scene. And again, that's why it could be taking the feds a little bit longer, because I think that porch guy, we're all thinking porch guy, but he's not the mastermind. And I think the feds are trying to find the mastermind. He's the patsy, Lee Harvey Oswald. You know? And, again, I had some people writing comments about it and I thought the same thing. It's odd that Annie and the family wasn't out looking. Well, again, I really think, especially re-listening to the interview with Hoda just now, and what Savannah was saying and what she wasn't saying, okay, they were not afraid of the media. I think that there was a credible threat to Annie, the brother-in-law, and I know you're probably not gonna be happy, but I'm throwing the brother-in-law in there as well. I believe there was a credible threat against Annie, the brother-in-law, Cam, definitely Savannah, and I think that they were moving houses and using the media as an excuse. But honestly, it didn't help that the media was there, because this person could have been in among the media, and that would freak me out. If there's all these people, yeah, he could be blending in with the media and you don't know. And I'm pretty sure that this person is definitely watching, all of these shows. He loves the attention. He wanted the attention from Savannah. He didn't get it. So he threw it in her face. He mailed ransom notes, or he sent in ransom notes to the TV station. I mean, talk about salt to a wound. I'm going to send ransom notes after I just took your mom to the TV station you used to work at. And you wouldn't give me attention. Little too little, a little too late. And, TMZ's got it slapped everywhere, and she can't say anything. And the fact that, she didn't know if she could physically go back to work, it's because she said in part 2 or part 3, she's a broken human being. She's broken. And I don't blame her. I mean, honestly, the fact that she's able to get back up and go to work is really, I'm really proud of her that she did that. I don't know if it's an obsessed guy. I think that it could be somebody who saw the opportunity from that. I think the nexus is that Today Show segment when he saw Savannah with the mother and the sister and the Tucson thing. Okay. And maybe he's attracted to her. I'm not sure it's romantic. It could be. Maybe that's what he latched onto. Possibly, and she didn't give him the attention he needed. And, and I wondered why he didn't take Annie, who I don't think the one thing that this person failed to do in this plan that they spent months preparing for, the thing that they failed to do is realize that Nancy was as elderly and as ill and immobile as she was. Okay. I think that if he were to go back, he probably would rather take Annie, because he wanted to hurt Savannah. And it's like, oh my God, there it is. I'm taking the mom. What could hurt? They worship their mother. They literally look at her like she is a saint, a living saint. Religion is very important to them. She is on a pedestal. They worship. They refer to her as a matriarch of the family. She's a godly woman. Okay. She lives, eats, breathes. She is a good person to her soul. They worship her. And this person knew that this was going to hurt Savannah the most. They didn't take into account the health and well-being, that the struggle it was going to be with Nancy. And then this doofus hitting her, striking her at the doorway. And Nancy, this guy really screwed everything up. Honestly, that guy, he might already be, honestly, This guy could have done him in. This guy screwed up this plan big time. If there is a mastermind behind this, and this was the guy I hired to get Nancy, and he ended up helping her expire in my plan, he's probably sleeping with the fishes. He's probably sleeping with the fishes. So I'm not sure that we'll ever get Porch Guy, a mugshot of Porch Guy. I think it's very possible that we're spending so much time because they're looking for the mastermind, and it's going to be hard to find this guy. I do think that they should have paid the Bitcoin. I think that they should have paid whatever the person asked for, because I guess that once the person takes the Bitcoin out and then moves it through an exchange and then into a bank account, that's how they can trace it. So I think that, and I'm not sure who was calling the shots. I think that the $1 million ransom or reward that the family put up is a waste of time. I mean, I'm sure that they put the $1 million reward up just because they felt like they had to, in case somebody does turn someone in. But I think that was a total waste of time. I think the mastermind ultimately was working alone, and I'm not sure. I think that this person is so diabolical that there may be people around him that have no idea that he's done this. I mean, Dr. Gary Mercado has done a profile of this person and feels that this person could outwardly, just be a normal person, but has this really dark interior. And I'm kind of feeling that as well, that this person outwardly seems like probably well-educated, can write, maybe affluent, normal, smart, maybe has a good career, and has this dark underbelly that they keep hidden. And that is what came out with this whole thing, with this obsession, this secret obsession, or this fixation and this connection to Savannah, whatever has drawn this person to Savannah. And I don't know if maybe the money, was part of this. And again, I'm not 100% on my angle, but I'm 100% on the fact that this person was doing some sort of a shakedown for something for months. And that Savannah did not do whatever it is that they wanted, and they took the mom as retaliation. That part I know. I'm convinced. So anyway, you guys are probably sick of hearing me talk tonight. So I appreciate all of you so much. Woo woo. Woo woo. Just have to hope that something happens sometime soon. But yeah, I'm pretty sure listening to those messages that they were definitely talking to the kidnapper. And I think that unfortunately Savannah didn't do what she was supposed to do. And yeah, I know that there was movement on the Bitcoin account, but and there's so much there. I'm sure that there's so much that we don't know about. We don't know. There's so much we don't know about. And that gives me hope, because I feel like there's so much going on, and I feel like they have so much. And I think that they're not going to, show their cards at all, because again, they want this guy to feel nice and calm. Everything's cool. We're cool, dude. We don't have a suspect. We don't have a perp. No, we're cool, man. Be cool. And that's what they want. And that's what the media is doing. They're playing into that. And I'm hoping that one of these days, and it may not even be anytime soon. It could be it was a long was a long game that this guy was playing. It's probably a long game for them to get them. And ultimately, the family really just wanted their mother's remains back, and they're not going to get her remains. There's no way. And that's unfortunate. They're going to have to go on with their lives without that closure. But honestly, knowing that I'm sure she's passed and that they're not going to get the remains back, there's nothing we can do to save Nancy, which hurts my heart because she seemed like just a sweet lady, and it's just sick that this would happen to her. But you know, if it takes a year for them to get this guy, then I just hope that they get him. I really do. Whatever it takes, we'll wait, and I will be here watching and keeping an eye on things with my crazy theories. And I appreciate everybody listening tonight so much. And I do read every single comment. I go in and I heart and I do the thumbs up for every single comment, because I love reading, because you guys are smart. And I try to say this every true crime people are really smart. You guys are critical thinkers. You're very logical. MAB, I'm not sure what MAB is. Does that stand for something? Is that on YouTube? Check out MAB. I will check out MAB. I will check it out. I'm not sure if that stands for something, but I will look up MAB on YouTube. I will watch it as well, because I am a sponge. I get all of that stuff. So thank you guys so much. Please remember to subscribe, like. It's free. If you're going to be at CrimeCon, let me know if you're going to be at CrimeCon. I'm going to be at CrimeCon. I would love to meet folks. And I will be back with more live content. But until then, I will catch you all on the flip side. Have a good night.